for the Reimers household, okay? We always have at least a quarter of a cow available in the deep freezer for meals at any time. We get below a quarter of a cow, I start to feel a little stressed.
You have a little bit of a hesitation there, but here's what I like. That's why I go to their house for dinner sometimes, yeah. You may not want to have that much beef in your own kitchen, but chances are you have at least a pound of ground beef sitting in the freezer. That's always the case, right? Karin Schaefer from the Minnesota Beef Council is here with 3 recipes using ground beef, and we're starting with the spin on the classic, one of my faves, a good old sloppy Joe.
Hi, Karin. So nice to have you here.
Hi.
This is kind of like the question that everybody asks, like, what are you doing with a pound of ground beef? Because it's always on hand. This spin is really interesting. You've got a Moroccan sloppy Joe recipe. So talk to us about what's going on in here.
So we actually have a great recipe. It's sloppy Joe's 5 different ways, and the most unique recipe that I thought we'd showcase today is Moroccan-style ground beef.
What are the flavors in there?
You know, it really is surprising. There's pumpkin pie spice, tomato sauce. It has raisins in it, onions, yellow bell peppers, and then it's just, you could top it with pistachios, some Greek yogurt.
Okay, let's build these, Em.
Let's do it. Okay.
So instead of the traditional bun, you can use a pita.
Let me build yours.
Yeah, for sure. Build it up. Oh, so you use a pita instead of the bun. That's a good idea.
I like that.
It just gives it a little bit of a different texture and different vibe.
This is a good consistency, because I think sometimes with sloppy joes where it can be easy to just throw it together, following a recipe helps you get the right texture where it's not
running down
all
your
over.
arms.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's the name sloppy joes, but you don't necessarily want it everywhere. So you added, what is that, so some plain yogurt?
We've got some Greek plain yogurt, some pistachios if you'd like it.
I do.
And then also some cucumber.
Ooh.
And I think this is a little elevated from the Chris Farley, Adam Sandler sloppy Joe version.
I'm just going to take a big bite like this.
I'm going to go like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Forks are optional.
It's not going to be pretty, but that's okay.
Oh my gosh, I love
it's like a taco. It's like
I really like the spiced flavor in there. Like, it's a little bit of sweet from the raisins, and it's like a little bit cinnamony almost. That's yummy. Are you a fan?
Good. I'm glad you guys love it, because I thought it was super interesting, and I know my kids are going to love that there's raisins inside there.
I think you could even do this just over like some rice.
We talked about that in the office. I made it for the gals
like
this
saffron
morning.
rice or something?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah. Very good.
That is very, very tasty.
And messy, yes.
And messy, but you know what though? That's a true sign that it's really, really good if it's that messy.
Okay, so check out the Minnesota Beef Council's website, because you're looking right there. That's what Karin mentioned, those sloppy joes 5 ways. So you can just do some different flavor spins on the classic sloppy joe.
That was fantastic.
Okay, I'm a big fan of that.
1 for 1.
Good.
Pizza night is a big thing, and you know, a lot of people kind of think of like the classic, the pepperoni and the sausage, but you say, think about a pound of ground beef. And how do you do pizza night at your house?
So growing up, I grew up on a dairy farm, and on Friday nights, it was kind of our escape. We enjoyed Steve Urkel on, if anyone remembers, the good old TGI Friday. And we'd get to have pizza night as a family, so it's a tradition I've kept with my children and my husband. And sometimes it's a good way to use up leftovers that are still in the fridge for the week.
It is.
But what I really like about this is we're using a lean ground beef that has some seasoning of oregano, so it's giving kind of the flavor of Italian food. But the best part is we're going to sneak in some vegetables into our sauce.
This is brilliant.
That is a good
Okay,
idea.
so what do you want me to put in the blender?
So we have just about a cup or so of traditional marinara sauce.
Okay, and you can just use like whatever jar.
Whatever, yes.
Sorry
it could
about
be
that,
pizza
team.
sauce, and then we just have blanched a little bit of California blend. I think there's broccoli, cauliflower, carrots. Put that in your blender.
And so are you thinking, once you blend it up, you're probably not even going to notice that those vegetables are in there.
See? What a
You're going to be sneaky.
way. I love that.
Yeah, this is good, because all my kids are always just like, I don't want any of the green stuff on there. Like, I don't like the green stuff is what she's saying. And I'm like, what are you doing? Okay, so let's just rev this bad boy up. Nutri Ninja, hit it, go. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Power. Thank you.
I mean, honestly.
Okay, brilliant.
I mean, that's, even for adults, let's be honest, sometimes they're like, I don't really want it. If it's just in there, you know it's there.
Oh my gosh,
good.
this is fantastic. What a great idea. Okay, I like that. The carrots add a little sweetness too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a big fan of making my own pizza dough, but we actually have a store-bought option. You can also go to your local pizzeria, and they'll sell you just a pizza dough that you can roll out yourself.
You want to spread that out, Emma? Okay, good, good, good.
So it's a little thicker, but it's going to cook wonderfully. On top of the sauce, then, we're going to add the lean ground beef that has the seasoning.
Okay, that's good. So it's just seasoned it up. Look, oh,
this is great.
Too. And this I like because I like the texture of this, that you're going to get like some of the bite of the meat in every single bite.
Yeah, it's going to be a hearty pizza, so you don't have to eat several pieces. You can just have kind of a one serving for you.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, because isn't that the key with pizza?
Yeah.
Portion control. Don't you
Exactly.
always eat one piece too many?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so tomatoes and cheese go on.
Yep.
You could totally
just-
add what you like, but what this recipe calls for is cherry tomatoes just sliced in half, regular mozzarella cheese, or you can use another kind of cheese that you have. And then we do have some for you guys to taste.
This
It
is
comes
really
out
good.
looking so pretty, and we top it with basil, little chefnade basil.
And that's just like a little freshness that reminds you that summer will exist at one point.
Eventually.
Okay,
Yeah.
before we go, that's delicious. Let's talk about this goulash and your idea of making a great goulash with ground beef.
So we all remember goulash with the elbow macaroni. It's floppy. It doesn't have the texture that you want. It's not, soaking up all of those juices. This is a fantastic recipe that it's cooked in one pot on the stove. I put it in a casserole dish for showcasing it a little bit better, but it's got some great seasoning. It's all cooked in one pan. And what we did today is we used cavatappi noodles.
Which are the best
They're
noodles.
the best, and they have these lines, and they catch more, and they're firmer, so it really has a little al dente bite to it, which is so much better than
This tastes
old
like
school.
what you wanted the church potluck version to taste like.
Yes,
and then
and it
now
did,
it
it did,
actually
yes.
does. Karen, great job. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
These are really good ideas, and we have links to these recipes on our website. Just go to twincitieslive.com.
And you will find hundreds more dinner ideas from the minnesotabeef.org. And also you can follow the Minnesota Beef Council and Facebook and Instagram for more. And make sure to keep an eye out for their 12 days of giveaways next month. And we would like to thank the Minnesota Beef Council for sponsoring the show and for feeding us.
I know, those are delicious. That
Favorite
sloppy
time
Joe,
of the day.
if you're doubting it, try it. It's really, really
It's
good.
fantastic.
Kids who